coronavirus pandemic took the world by a storm and left us all in shock. On the 1st of January 2020, when we all looked forward to seeing a new decade, no one thought that the world would be in this state at this time. This is Community Forum. I am Sarah Yeku. The sun beams lightly over Nigeria. It is back to the days of communal living. The days when our worries were all too familiar. The days when the world was free and happy. The days that many communities lived in peace and tranquility, while a few others lived in fear of terror attacks. Now the world is living on the edge. The earth, they say, is cleansing itself. The world is fighting a common battle that threatens the existence of many people and, by extension, many communities. The first case of the novel coronavirus raging across the world was reported in the Chinese province of Wuhan in December 2019. But it took only weeks to become humanity's biggest common enemy. For Nigeria, it all started on the 27th of February when only a case was confirmed. A month later, on the 27th of March, Nigeria had recorded 70 cases and just one death. On the 27th of April, these figures have ballooned, crossing the 1,000 mark, with at least 40 deaths. Nigeria is experiencing a sharp trajectory of infections. What is alarming is the fact that community transmission is now on the rise. This is so because a community spread of the disease can prove fatal, as it will be difficult to trace and manage due to the nature of some communities in the country.
With the present trend towards community transmission, the strategy of the health sector is being redrawn to address the specific challenges, and their emphasis will be increased towards screening, testing, and immediate isolation of confirmed cases. The advisories on non-medical interventions must be maintained, which have already been well publicized.
There will be an overnight curfew from 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. This means all movements will be prohibited.
This is the third time President Muhammadu Buhari is reviewing the lockdown restrictions. This time, the president approved a phased and gradual ease on the restriction. The new measures included a nationwide nighttime curfew, mandatory wearing of face masks, and a ban on non-essential travel between different regions. How this will be interpreted by Lagos, Ogun, and Abuja leaves much to be desired.
Eateries and restaurants will also be allowed to open between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m., but they shall only do takeaways. There will not be permitted any form of in-dining service whatsoever. All food handlers and staff of the eateries are expected to have gone through an extensive health check and must also practice high level of personal hygiene in serving members of the public. On our healthcare facility, we will continue to work with our medical establishment and will continue to have a high index of suspicion of COVID-19. All suspected cases of COVID-19 must immediately be reported at the state helpline, which is 08000 267-662. Meaning that, like you have mentioned, our farmer is working with some of the health practitioners to designate some of the health institutions as COVID-19 hospitals. On education, all schools and institutions at primary, secondary, and tertiary levels will continue to remain physically closed.
Offices are closed, main markets are shut. Schools are shut. There is no traffic. And communities are trying to adjust to the new normal. What's more, weeks into a lockdown imposed in many states, social distancing remains a big challenge. In fact, many people in different communities think that the coronavirus is a hoax. In Bayelsa State, Nigeria's south, we caught up with some women who added a comic side to the reality on ground.
What is the name of the virus that is killing people all over the world?
I know your English, gonorrhea virus. Gonorrhea virus, but because that sickness, not be me work from we income for in place, in day for in place, in no come resource. Because God not create us. Because we be God picking them. That coronavirus or anything anywhere in day, now there you go day.
So coronavirus and hunger, which one is more dangerous?
Hunger. Because these are the sickness not go come reach us.
Man, the way they do, if coronavirus come, you go feel bitter.
I go feel bitter. I go kick him.
The name of the virus, some is Glococcus virus, Motorola virus, will have glorious virus. And some of them will have hungry virus, because this virus have caused so much hungry in our country. In Bayelsa here, we'll call it Glococcus.
Thank you very much, huh? Chai.
Now more than ever, there is a need for safe water and soap, for good hand hygiene, which is necessary for preventing COVID-19. But what about communities that do not have access to this? In Makoko, Lagos, life goes on as usual. The concept of social distancing is not applicable in the slum, where houses on stilts are lumped together and everyone is in each other's space.
Coronavirus ìdámọ̀ máa kó rárá kò sí Makoko. Ẹ hàn pé gbogbo àwa táwa ń bí kò sí aláìsàn kan láàrin wa tí wọ́n gbé lọ síbi kan tó yẹ̀ wò tó sọ pé nǹkan ó ní coronavirus. So gbogbo àwa táwa ń bí adẹ̀wà tá à ń tẹja tá à ń ṣe gbogbo ẹ̀ kò sí lára wa ní gbogbo Makoko. Ìyá ọ̀tí gbọ́ pé wọ́n rí kan lára Makoko rí. Wọ́n ní àwọn tó kó lóyìnbó àwọn ló kó wá sí Nàìjíríà. Àwa ọ̀dẹ̀ kí n lọ sí lóyìnbó. Ọlọ́run ló ń ṣọ́ èèyàn. Wọ́n dẹ̀ sọ pé ibi tí ó bá gbóná àwa ń sìn a máa ń yun ẹja, so omi tó àwọn òye omi yẹn náà máa ń gbóná ńgbà kan. Wọ́n sọ pé ibi tí ó bá ń gbóná kì í sí ńbẹ̀, òun ni òfin sí lọ́dọ̀ wa. Wọ́n ní ká fọwọ́ ká fi nǹkan bomú, so ìbílífù ọkàn pé kò sí lọ́kàn wa kò lè sí lọ́dọ̀ wa yẹn gbogbo yẹn, so afárá wa lẹ̀ fún pé kò sí lọ́dọ̀ wa. Ṣé gbogbo ẹni tẹ́lẹ̀ ẹ̀rí kẹ́ni kò bomú asúmọ́ra wà pa kò sí láàrin wa.
What I know about it is I think it's a virus whereby if someone have the virus, if the person cough or check you, you can easily be affected. We're checking ourselves and we're talking to ourselves. Just like they say we notice this sign in anybody, like if the person is coughing, we should call a number. So I think we'll be doing research on that, but there's nobody like that. Right now, none of our women are going out because we specialize in fishing. That's what we do. The men, we go out for fishing. When we come back with the fish, we give it to their wife to take it to the market to see. The men on Makoko waterfront there, we don't have the access in going outside because we know our duty is just to go out for fishing. That's what we do. But right now, all our women are at home. None of them is going to market. All of them are in the community right now. Reason because they say the government said they should not go. There is a lockdown, so they have to be at home. So people have to move around, whether if they wanted to go and get a food, they have to go to their neighborhood to buy whatever food they need to eat. That's why there's a movement on water. But none of them is going to the land side.
Across Nigeria, 95.9 million people live in extreme poverty. That is people living below the poverty line of $2 per day. This, however, represents 48% of the Nigerian population, according to the World Poverty Clock as of 3rd of March 2020. Nairametrics reports that the poor individuals are living in 43,258 communities in 421 local government areas across Nigeria. Makoko in Lagos is one of these communities, housing some of the most vulnerable in the country. Fumilayo is in her 60s and has lived in Makoko for over 30 years. Fending for her family has not been easy, as she forms part of the 60% of persons in the informal sector in Lagos surviving on their day-to-day earnings.
We are managing the little we have. I have no helper except God. God helps. Sometimes my children help me too. I am struggling to survive.
There is still rice. There is still rice from this motor tree.
For millions of Nigerians, the lockdown simply meant more hunger in the land. On the streets, the struggle for what to eat became real. And many people had to depend on what the non-governmental organizations, the government, and individuals had to provide.
It's a great relief. It's a great, at least for someone that doesn't have a big family, this can relieve it for a day or two. It's something, and we really appreciate it.
There's a particular virus that kills faster than the coronavirus. That's hunger. Then we have come here to give succor, to support people in our own little way.
Most people live in one-room apartments shared by at least 5 occupants, making it difficult for individuals to observe social distancing during the lockdown. At the National Stadium, another fraction of the vulnerable are hungry and waiting for help.
We have been here for the past 2 weeks. There's nothing for us to eat, no water, even to bath safe. Awala.
Help comes from another organization, but the underlying factor of how to survive the lockdown without a daily earning is still evident.
We want Nigeria to help us bring food more, and giving us some small money so that we will buy some like pepper, onions, tomatoes, and we need so many things, not even all this rice and the water. We need money to buy cuisine.
The food no dey no life. I know some people dey inside, I know if you waka come outside sef. This one we collect now, we eat them together. Only I don't like the way all these able people do. They can't rush the food they bring for disabled people. It's no good now.
They are made vulnerable by the society. So with the way the food is being distributed, it's not a good idea. They didn't go the right way. Though the idea is very commendable, but the manner at which it's being carried out, it's not. A lot of people won't get it.
At Berger, one of Lagos' entry points, if not the busiest. Commuters are seen scrambling to get vehicles that will convey them to their various destinations in a city that has recorded well over 600 active cases of the novel coronavirus. Although the bus stop at Berger is devoid of its usual activity, the streets are occupied with pedestrians. Checkpoints in and out of Lagos are busy as usual, giving security operatives manning the border a strenuous task of checking for those on essential duty. While the check is ongoing, we caught on camera some vehicles evading security officials through another route not far from the main point of entry. For pedestrians, it's a walk in the park as there is no form of check. While Lagos was partially sleeping, neighboring Ogun State enjoyed its own window of relaxation for 3 days. In the market, people disregarded the social distance order to purchase essentials for their households and make brisk money for the coming days.
We are ready to stay at home, but they need to do some things for us. There is no security. Thieves are disturbing us. There is no social amenity, there is nothing. There is no price control. What we are buying 100 naira before, they inflate the price to 300. Did they want us to die in hunger? There are many countries are at home where their governments are providing so many things for them.
Ebi ti pọ̀jù, àwọn míì tó ṣiṣẹ́ tí wọ́n bá wá nítorí pé àwọn ò rí ibì kankan gbà, wọ́n máa wá ká wa mọ́lé wípé kábínì tá ní ká gbé jáde àwọn fẹ́ jẹ. Meanwhile, àwa gan ò rí nǹkan kan jẹ. Ọjà bá bá débẹ̀ a lè jẹun, tá a bá dé ọjà a lè jẹun ní èdè. So ti yé yín sí ẹ̀yin náà mọ̀ bó orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà wá ṣe rí. Ìjọba wa ni èmi fẹ́ bẹ̀ kán jọ, kán wò wá ṣe láàánú. Ọlọ́run bá wa lé kòró lọ, kò lè wà ní orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà tó ẹjọ́ torí Ọlọ́run kán fi wá sílẹ̀ kán já máa tajà wa. Òfin tán bá bẹ̀ fún wa rẹ̀ máa ṣe. Bó jẹ́ pé ká máa cover mú wa ká máa lo anglo fún ni, a máa lò kán jẹ́ ká máa tajà wa kán má jẹ́ kébi pa wa. Tẹ́bí bá tún ti pọ̀jù gan, nǹkan míì máa ṣẹlẹ̀ o.
Now we are hearing that they are giving Nigerians billions of naira, even close to trillions now. We haven't received even just a 10 naira. And students, you will tell us that we should be reading at home. Even is it a house that haven't eaten morning, afternoon? We'll be able to tell a child to read, and the child will be able to read, not assimilate.
No man can heal the land. No man can stop whatever is going on except God. And God will come down if we repent, confess our sins, and go cry to Him. He will heal the land. Man cannot provide food for us. It's God that can provide the food for us. So when we go back to God, God will repay this nation, and things will be normal. Then everybody will be released, and there will be food for us to eat.
The need to keep fit became essential during this period as many community members turned to exercise on the streets. From living rooms to the streets, Nigerians could not keep still or get used to the word stay at home, thereby redefining the concept of a lockdown.
I'm tired. I'm getting tired, man.
Night patrols also became a thing in some communities whose residents have resolved to self-help to safeguard their lives and property. As empty streets lead to hungry stomachs, the resulting tension was once spearheaded by cult groups known at different times as Awawa Boys, 1 Million Boys, and most recently 1 Billion Gang. Now it's every street and every neighborhood for itself, as security agents appear overwhelmed with the burden of standing at various checkpoints to enforce the lockdown order.
We have news that about 1 million boys, 1 Yabo boys, not even know, but you have to be vigilant before they even come to court. Most of us have family around here. Our wife, children is here. So we need to be vigilant. So that's why we're outside. Then give us courage to even secure our street more better. Because when police is with us, we are with them. That is, we are full of police. So thank God they are even around. Even more soldiers were better for us to even secure our streets.
The morning after, the environment suffers it.
One of the things that we've begun to notice is the consistent burning of tires. And while the intention is to scare away thieves and burglars, it's becoming harmful to the environment.
Some hoodlums, I don't know them, we call them 1 million boys, terrorizing everywhere. So this is part of the measure that we took so that they will not come to our area. So that we prevent us. These are preventive measures. Have to burn tires around so that they will not come and harm us in our house.
Communities in northern Nigeria are on high alert for a spike in cases. Northern Nigeria's largest city, Kano, was not spared. For weeks, mysterious deaths have been recorded. Although these deaths are being investigated, the state is going on lockdown for 2 weeks.
Kano is not in denial. Kano is affirmative that there is coronavirus. So what we have to do is to immediately do all we can from the state, from the federal government and all partners to interrupt the transmission of this virus among our people. That is our objective number one, interrupt immediately.
The night is dark. The moon is still not smiling fully. Communities across Nigeria want a full moon as the world looks on with bated breath, hoping to wake up tomorrow morning and return to what's normal.